Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us for the first regional collaboration call of 2022. I hope everyone is staying warm and as well. My name is Philip Landrico. I'm the Assistant Project Director for SOAR 2.0. I am joined here today with other members of the Grants Administration team, regional presenters for today's meeting, and the SARDI team at Wright State University. Today we'll be covering the Northcoast region, and the project lead for this region is Zoe Leonard, and we'll go ahead and get started. Just some general housekeeping before we kick off the meeting. This meeting is being recorded and may be posted on the Ohio Moss website. If you could please mute your computer and or phone if you're tuning in by phone, and turn off your camera while we're giving the presentation. We'd greatly appreciate that. If you do have any questions, please send those questions to the chat box. The chat box is going to be moderated by one of our staff here at the Grants Bureau, and they will be putting links and answering questions in that chat box for everyone. To start off, we have a website link for general. If you could please mute your microphones as we're giving the presentation. If you have any questions or looking for information about federal grant projects, there's the link below, and we'll put that link inside of the chat box for you. And just as a reminder, we do collect surveys regarding our meetings today. If you could please do the survey either during the meeting or after the meeting, there is the link for you. We will be putting that link into the chat box, and we'll also provide the information again at the end of the meeting. This survey allows us to collect information about how these meetings are attended, what information you found helpful, and what information we can provide in future meetings to increase the collaborative efforts between the state and the providers in the field. And with that, I will punt over to Dr. Alloy, our Chief of the Bureau of Grants Administration, to give a welcome and opening remarks.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, Philip, for the transfer of the call. And welcome everyone on the snowy, cold, kind of beginning of the new year meeting. We are thrilled to have this kickoff collaboration call with all of you today. And from the department, what we really want to express is first gratitude, gratitude and grace. We want to just tell you all that we're so grateful for the work that you have done during this unusual time of service. We're now, almost 2 years into our pandemic, while we're battling our opioid epidemic at the same time. And now, of course, the behavioral health surge, which really I think was always there, but the pandemic illuminated it in a way that makes it very clear for all of us that we still are rolling up our sleeves and we have a lot of work to do. We are excited for the conversation that's going to happen today because it helps the department to know what's working, what opportunities exist, and helps us to have a more laser focus around matters of sustainability and additional funding and procurement of dollars, which is our essential role for the state and the citizens of Ohio. So with that, again, we want to just say we are so grateful for your continued service, your roll up the sleeves work ethic. We know that many programs are in the midst of the variants and having staffing shortages and all the things that we've been going through. And with that, we want you all to give yourselves some grace, because we do understand that. We understand that when programs can't quite get stood up in the time frame that we thought. We have staffing issues, workforce issues. We are fully cognizant of that. And so we give you grace and understanding that those are the conditions you're serving in.
Oh, that food was good.
With that, we are looking forward to the conversation with an ear towards, again, sustainability and where we can laser focus our efforts for additional funding for the citizens of the state of Ohio to help us have a healthier experience. It's really all I can say, a healthier experience. So with that, Phil, I have nothing else to do but give you greetings and let the team take it away from there.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alloy. Next slide, please. Before I go over the slide, just a general reminder to please keep your microphones muted if you're joining us. And also, if you could turn off your cameras while we're doing the meeting, so that way people can focus on the materials. Sometimes it'll go between the screens. We greatly appreciate it. Here's an overview of the grants administration team, the staff that work with us in this bureau, and if they have a specific region or grant that they work on, those are listed there below. Again, for this region, Zoe Leonard is the regional project lead for Northcoast. And we'll just dive into SOAR 2.0 updates. So on our next slide, just wanted to give a quick update that we are very thankful for everyone making SOAR 2.0 year one a remarkable first year. It was overall very successful. SOAR 2.0 year one ended on September 29th, 2021. We effectively call SOAR 2.1 for year one and 2.2 for year two. So you'll hear us using that terminology throughout the meeting today and going forward as well. SOAR 2.2 began on September 30th of last year and will run through September 29th of this year. With 2.1, the closeout process was a successful pilot. It helped us with our submissions to SAMHSA and really look at the overall goals and how they were met through the grant. We did submit a report for SAMHSA and end of the first year, and in December as well. And with the end of 2.1, we did request a formal carryover through SAMHSA for year two. As a reminder, if we do get awarded any carryover dollars, they are not returned to the original awardee, and that Ohio Moss senior leadership, they do have the final decision on how those carryover funds are awarded in the future. With that said, we will be working towards our mid-year reporting that will be due in March of this year. We are requesting that your updates be submitted no later than March 11th, 2022. We will be disseminating out reminder notices and information regarding the mid-year reports here shortly. This information will come out with a narrative template for you to fill out the information that we are requesting for the mid-year report for SAMHSA. If you have any questions about the information that you receive or any questions about the narrative, please feel free to reach out to your regional project lead or myself, and we'll do our best to answer those questions for you as soon as possible. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's reports. I've heard some good things so far coming from the field in the first couple months, and I'm anxious to see what's going on in Ohio on the ground level. Let's see here. Next slide, please. Just another update on the SOAR 2.0 website. We do have a new website for the Ohio Department as a whole, and it's got a new look. Right below is the link directly to the SOAR section of the website. There you'll find useful information such as the Community Investment Guidebook, which we will be publishing a new guidebook shortly with current figures and information and updated project leads for your areas. Any information updates, any facts including any questions that are asked in today's meeting. We'll get those answered and published as well. Any reporting requirements and links to the Wright State University SARI program for GIPRA information, information about the consent forms and the evaluation and data collection process as a whole. Calendar events, such as today's regional quarterly collaboration call. You should expect our next meeting to be sometime in April, and we'll be sending out those notices sometime in March for that meeting. And then also with that calendar event, you'll see some GIPRA training information, which the SARDA team will go over later on today, and you'll have a list of allowable costs. Next slide, please. Before we hop into SOAR 1.0 updates, if you just a reminder, if you have any questions, feel free to put that into the chat box, and we'll do our best to answer them as the meeting goes on, or we'll have a chance to answer them at the end of the meeting as well. With SOAR 1.0, I just wanted to state that that this grant officially ended also on 9/29/2021. We want to thank everyone for all the amazing work that was completed under this grant. We were very impressed by the amount of lives and Ohioans that were touched by each of these projects. The Bureau completed a 3-year end-of grant report and submitted that to SAMHSA in December. To date, we are expecting to send back less than $1.9 million for the total 3 years of NCE and the supplement combined. That is an amazing feat, and each and every one of you should be very proud of this accomplishment. That means that it was money well spent for our Ohioans and reaching many lives throughout the state. Continuing forward, I'm going to introduce Christine Cielski, our Assistant Chief of the Grants Administration Bureau, and she will give you some updates on Matt Padilla. Christine?
Thank you, Philip. First off, I want to say good afternoon to everyone, and it's a pleasure to see everyone in the participant group. And I also want to thank all of the boards and providers who participated in the Matt Padilla grant. This important work has made a big difference in the lives of Ohioans, and it also represents the dedication and hard work of the boards and providers to serve Ohioans with OUD. So the Matt Padilla grant closed on September 29 of 21, and very little of the funding was returned to SAMHSA. And there actually is no further funding currently posted by SAMHSA for this project, so it is officially closed. And I want to move on to the RSP grant. So the RSP grant closed on 10/24 of 21. And we'll show you a slide in a moment that shows how the grant outperformed in serving individuals who were impacted by COVID. This grant was not an SUD grant. Of course, it was a COVID pandemic grant, and it was tailored after the FEMA natural disaster grants. And the application that Ohio Moss put into SAMHSA stated that the grant would serve about 47,000 individuals. And we'll show you that the final data indicates that the work done through this grant served 659,159 Ohioans. And I wanted to thank everyone who worked on this grant. We had a lot of peer supporters who worked in the agencies. The agencies worked with the boards, and in sending in their data and their budgets and all of their reports, they also took the time to include impact stories. And these impact stories created the emotional bridge or connection between the data and the outreach work that was done. And it really helped those of us who sit in an office and look at the grant funding, but don't have the direct contact with the individuals that are impacted and receive this funding, to hear their stories, hear about how the grant was able to help them, how it improved their lives, and exactly how wonderful the folks on the ground doing the outreach were in making sure that people were connected with resources. So thank you to everyone who participated in this grant. This will be the last time that you're hearing about this grant. It'll also be the last time you're hearing about the Matt Padilla grant. They're both closed. Their final reports are in. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. This is a slide with the data on. And as you can see, a lot of work went into this particular program. We're happy to supply the slide to anyone who needs it, and in particular to the boards or agencies that were involved in the project. We can also provide individual reports for your particular area. So thank you, everyone. It was good to talk to you today, and I'm going to turn the floor back over to Philip.
Thank you, Christine, for those updates. It's awesome to hear about those projects. With that, I'm going to punt it over to our regional project lead for Northcoast, Zoe Leonard, and take it away, Zoe.
Thank you, Philip, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for taking the time to be here today. And I know we have a lot of community organization, innovation projects, moms projects, and board-funded projects in the area. So I have recognized a few names that I've been able to work with so far. And if I have not, I look forward to working with you throughout the rest of this project. I'd like to take a couple of minutes to introduce Thrive Behavioral Healthcare. I believe we have Bethany Roebuck and the Thrive team that will be able to share some information about their projects, some successes they've had, and as well as any barriers or challenges they've faced throughout the year. Bethany, I'll let you take it away.
Okay, thank you so much, Zoe. And yes, my name is Bethany Roebuck. I'm a project manager at Thrive. Still working on getting my name changed on my Microsoft account, so sorry about that. Also have probably a couple other team members on here today. So yeah, we're grateful to be here to share some of our progress. I do have a couple slides, but I don't know if for the sake of time, you just want me to talk through kind of what I wanted to cover, Zoe?
Yes, that would be great if you're able to talk through them. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get them pulled up, but I do appreciate your efforts with that.
That's totally fine. So I oversee a couple of Thrive SOAR 2.0 or Thrive SOAR projects, but one of the ones that we wanted to talk to you all about today is our Ohio Connections for Recovery. This program is a project that we're in year 2 of, and it's through a collaboration with an organization called Chess Health. The goal of this program is to not only connect individuals with peer recovery support through Thrive and our ongoing services that we provide across the state, but also to their Chess Health Connections app. So the Connections app is an online community that is free for anybody to access through our program. It basically offers 24/7 community recovery support services. They have online threads and chats that people can go through. There's also a kind of personal side to it where people can journal and do check-ins, do mindfulness with themselves. And they can also connect with the Chess Health peer support team on a 24/7 basis, just to discuss things and get encouragement. So what we have done in year 2 of this program, since I jumped on board, is we have launched a couple different strategies where we are not only talking with providers on how they can connect their clients to this free app to kind of meet that gap potentially in care after office hours to have that extra support, but we also are doing a community outreach program. So clients at a treatment center can be connected by their clinical team there or counselors, or we have staff and peer supporters available in certain areas of the state where they actually can go into a center and work with the clients to connect them to the services. Since the launch in year 2 of this program, in just the past few months, we've had over 60 signups on the app. And a majority of those individuals have kept engaging on the app in the past 30 days. So that's really exciting. We've had about 15 community peer support referrals. And we also are connecting people to harm reduction resources. So we've given out about 25 Narcan kits just through our outreach at these different treatment centers and other places. One of the locations that we found to be really successful for connecting people to this app is the medication-assisted treatment programs. Those individuals may need this extra support even more than others. And so we've set up in quite a few in different areas of the state that we go into for a few hours a week, really talk and engage and develop relationships and peer support people, as well as connect them to this ongoing support. One of the success stories of the Chest Health app that I wanted to share is, and this I can send out to Zoe also by slides if you guys want to see them after the fact. But I screenshotted a post that one of our clients that's on the app had posted, and we connected with her at a medication-assisted treatment program. She had only not used for 3 days when we met, and she was really in a difficult place. She also expressed to me that she hadn't shared with anybody else in her life that she was trying to get sober and that she dealt with struggles around her use. And so this app was a really great entry point for her to start talking to people and becoming comfortable having those conversations with a community where she could be anonymous, and kind of develop those skills and that confidence to be able to reach out for help. So one of the posts that she had is that she is 18 days sober now, as of, I think it was yesterday. So that was a huge success. And that's just one of the individuals we've been able to connect with the Connections app. Some of the barriers that we faced, as everyone has working in this space, is finding the right staff to fulfill these outreach roles. Thankfully, we've had some internal team members that we've equipped as a part of this grant and kind of transition them over to this role. So that's been great, but still looking to add new team members to be out in the community. Another challenge is that when we want to go in person and develop these relationships and connect people to the app, and there's issues with COVID, that's been a challenge, but we also connect the providers over Zoom and we can do presentations and do it that way. So one of the ways I wanted to share with you all how to get involved, if you're interested, I'll put my email in the chat. If you are a provider that wants to connect your clients to this app, you can reach out to me. Or if you would like one of our peer supporters to come in and talk to people about services as well as the app, we can definitely set that up. We can set up an in-depth presentation with Chest Health where they go through all the amazing features of the app. This was just very brief an overview. It does so many different awesome things. So I'll put my email in the chat, and I would love to take, a couple questions. I don't know how much more time we have, but thank you so much for allowing me to share. This program has been a huge impact, and I'm excited to see all the other individuals we're going to connect to services over the next coming months.
Thank you, Bethany. That was so wonderful to hear about that. Does anyone have any questions for Bethany? If not, I will go ahead and turn it back to Philip, but thank you all again for your time being here today. And then also for all of the wonderful work you're doing in your communities. It's been great learning about these projects and seeing the impact that you all are making.
Thank you, Zoe, and thank you, Bethany, for sharing today. We'll have time at the end of the meeting as well for you to ask questions towards Thrive. I did see there was a question in the chat that asked, can the name of the app be repeated? And the name of the app is called Connections. So thank you for putting that into the chat. Feel free to write in the chat anytime you want to, and we'll try to answer your questions on the spot or at the end of the meeting. With that, we'll move forward, and I would like to introduce the SARDI team at Wright State University, who's going to give their their data collection and evaluation update for January. So go take it away.
Hi, Philip. Thank you so much. My name is Angela Zaragoza with the Wright State Study Evaluation Team. I also have members of my team on here, Nicole Kinsler, Catherine Taylor, Brady Wilson, and Jenna Killian on the call with us. Next slide, please. Okay, there have been 13,083 intakes completed for the from the start of SOAR at 9/30/2020. I'm sorry, SOAR 2 from 9/30/2020 to 1/6/2022. For the second year of SOAR 2, we have had 3,327 intakes completed against the 9,000 yearly goal that is projected for us. That is 37%. Of those completed intakes in SOAR 2 for year 2, 2,829 of them are local board, which is 85%. Community organization at 203 intakes at 6.1%. You have innovation with 214 at 6.4%. Moms at 66 with a 2.0%. And then you have ODJFS and or Ohio Start with 15 at 0.5%. Next slide, please. For the follow-ups and discharges, there have been 3,366 follow-up records, both completed and administrative, from project to date. So from the start of SOAR 2 till January 6th. 2,207 are completed interviews, which is 66.6%. And then the follow-up rate of those follow-ups that have been in window is 27%. There has been 1,539 discharge records. These are all as well completed and administrative, entered into the iPortal to date, or to January 6th. Next slide, please. We've also made some changes to our biweekly local board report that we wanted to point out to everyone. We have divided up intakes for year 1 and year 2. So those are separated. We've also changed our follow-up section a little bit because we added discharges on there, and I'll get to the discharges. But I want to just talk a little bit about the follow-ups. This is from project to date. This only includes the completed actual interviews. And for example, you have 16 out of 43. 43 is representing all follow-ups that have been eligible from project to date, and 16 is representing how many of those follow-ups out of 43 have been completed. So you have 16 out of 43, which gives you a follow-up rate of 37%. And how that's calculated is you divide the first number by the second number and then multiply by 100. We also have discharges on our reports now, and these include administrative and follow or complete discharges. And that is because either discharge gives us the information needed for SAMHSA's reports and any report requests we may have by local boards. I'm now going to turn this over to my coworker, Catherine Taylor, and she'll go into more about our training and our TA services that we offer.
Thanks, Angela. I'm Kathy Taylor. Thanks for hosting us, Ohio Moss. And let's talk about training. Next slide, please. So we have, we started again with training when SOAR 2.2 started. And so we have been keeping our schedule full with SOAR 2 full trainings, update and refreshers, and Q&As. We've had the most, most participants with our full trainings. And, I've seen kind of a switch in the last few months, and it's just becoming more and more evident. We host these Q&A sessions, but we are finding that we are having individual Zooms or calls or just emails back and forth, and a lot of our Q&As have become one-on-one in focus. So we probably handle dozens of calls each, a week. Calls, that's a loose term, including emails and Zoom calls. So so we have been training. We've seen things shift a little bit and how we're doing it, but we are fielding questions all the time, every day. So we are happy that providers are asking questions, and we are happy to be of support to them so they can continue on with providing the services under the SOAR 2 grant. Next slide, please. So we like I said, we have a full training schedule set up, and this is it through the end of March. Sometimes it's subject to change based on, something may come up, with somebody in the staff, but I think we've only done that once or twice, since SOAR 1, where we've had to change something. So this is just the full schedule of the SOAR Full 2 trainings, SOAR 2 updates, and the Q&A sessions. And there are some, we don't have Q&A sessions going into March, and let me explain why, starting with the next slide. So we are going to have some required training starting at the end of February. And this is based on the different types of technical assistance that we've been providing to the collectors and agencies throughout the state of Ohio. We are finding, we are providing a lot of assistance with follow-up and discharge interviews and the locator and consent forms. So we thought it would be a good idea to get everybody, into some Zoom rooms and give that information, give that information to a large group of people, so we can catch everybody. We want to focus on the importance of doing the follow-up interviews, the importance of doing the discharge interviews, and why. The follow-up interviews, of course, we know that shows changes in behavior and lifestyles, and mental health and employment, from intake to follow-up. And the discharge interviews are not only, to check on the client at discharge, but it also is the place where agencies put their information with regards to services that they've provided while that client was in service. And it rubber stamps what is laid out in the intake interviews with the plan services. So it is really important to document and record those services, because that shows to SAMHSA and Ohio Moss that you are providing the services that you set out to do, not only in the grant applications that you submitted, but also in the intake interviews. So we're going to take some of those Q&As and turn them into these required trainings. We're also going to add dates for trainings in between the full SOAR 2 trainings. So when we have things set and we meet with Ohio Moss to finalize everything, we will get the information out to you so people can start signing up for training. Next slide, please. And like I said, we did these trainings based on the type of calls that we've been getting. So follow-up and discharge are big ones. Lately, locator forms and consent forms. Maybe somebody is new to the process. They took the training and, it took a little while to get up and running, and they don't remember. So we are more than happy to help people find things, to help them get them on their way so they can do the GEPRA and start providing services to new clients. We also, Angela talked about that, we've added the discharge interview data to reports, and that's just, we want people to be aware that the discharge interview is as important as the other two interviews. So we've added them to the reports for that purpose. And of course, we have daily calls with regards to SOAR 2 iPortal access. There's glitches in the systems, or somebody forgets how to log in, and so we get on a Zoom call and share screens and help them through that process. So we are here. There are 5 of us providing technical assistance, And our goal is to answer your questions, solve your problems, refer you to the right people if we aren't the ones who can help you with your issues or questions, and get you on your way. Next slide, please. And just as a reminder, this is how you reach us at sorgepperquestions@wright.edu. That hits 5 of us. And I want to remind people that when you are engaging with one of us, and it gets, just be between the 2 of us, or, somebody else and you, always CC that email box, because like I said, that hits 5 of us. And we want to make sure that if somebody is helping somebody else, or working on another part of this project, that there was someone available to help you and answer your questions. And then again, the sardiprogram.com/SOAR, that's our resources page, with a lot of information that you can get at your fingertips. So thank you for letting us join this meeting, and we really appreciate all the work that you do, and thank you. And I guess I'm going back to Philip.
Thank you, Kathy and Angela and the rest of the Sardi team for those updates. We really appreciate it. With those links, those were also placed into the chat box, as well as Bethany from Thrive did put in her slides from the her speech earlier today too. So those are also available for download within the chat. Just another reminder that we do have our survey regarding the collaborative call listed below. And if you can please complete that, it does give us some vital information about the meetings that we will use to craft future meetings going forward. And here you'll see our social media. We're on a few different types of platforms, our state website. And with that brings us to the end of our meeting. I will open up the floor for any questions that people may have, whether it is for myself, the Sardi team at Wright State University, or for our presenters today, or for the Bureau in general. Okay. If no one would like to share, I can ask and see if anyone is interested in talking about what of their projects kind of match up with what was talked about with Thrive. Maybe there's some there's similar successes, maybe some similar challenges.
Hey, Philip, we have one question here in the chat for
Sure.
the Sardi team. Is now the time to ask for specific reports on our client demographics for SOAR 2.0 year 1? And Nicole says, please email us at sorgepperquestions@wright.edu. We'd be happy to do a report for you.
Fantastic. Thank you for the question, Susan, and thank you for the answer, Nicole, and thank you, Kirsten, for monitoring the chat. If there are no more questions, then I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Please stay warm, please stay safe, and I look forward to talking with everyone soon. I look forward to reading those mid-year reports and seeing everyone at our quarterly collaborative calls in April. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Bye.